Good morning, grade 12. Welcome to our contemporary Philippine arts class. And for this morning, we're going to discuss our first lesson for the second quarter, which is all about the techniques and performance practices. So for this lesson, you will excitedly attain the following objectives. So first, you're going to identify the contemporary art techniques. Second, you're going to appreciate the local materials in varied regions. Third, you are going to apply the different art techniques in their artworks. So let us begin our discussion with the first lesson for this discussion, which is all about the techniques and performance practices. So there are new techniques that define an art movement. So for contemporary arts, the following are few of these techniques. So first we have minimalism. So I guess you already have an idea what is minimalism all about. So this is one of the most important and influential art styles of the 1960s, and minimalism identifies works of art most often comprised of geometric shapes in simple arrangements and lacking any decorative or dynamic flourishes. And these geometric shapes characterize the elemental or bare bones forms of art, which, according to the critics, represented the culmination of modern art's progression toward the most simplified form of abstract art possible. So there are some notions before that when we say art, it has to be grandeur and it has to be, or it must have a lot of decorations. But as time goes by, the definition of art has changed already. When we say art, most people right now, the composition, the number of details are reduced, and that's why we come up with the concept of minimalism. So for most people, minimalism is very attractive. We have a saying that the less is better, the less is beautiful, and the concept of minimalism can be applied in when we have interior designing, especially in our houses, diba, when there's no a lot of furnitures or mga gamit sa inyong bahay, so it would look better. And when you design your house, as much as possible, the colors must blend together. Do not use strong colors or bright colors, because it may distract, or what you call that one, it may be irritating to the eyes of some people, especially when there's visitors that will come to your house. So as much as possible, just use light colors such as white, or the combination of white and black, or you can have white and gray, or you can have the light colors of yellow or blue, or you can also have the light colors of green. So let's proceed on the next type, which is Cubism. So Cubism was a truly revolutionary style of modern art developed by Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque. And it was the first style of abstract art which evolved at the beginning of the 20th century in response to a world that was changing with unprecedented speed. And Cubism was an attempt by artists to revitalize the tired traditions of Western art, which they believed had run their course, and the Cubists challenged conventional forms of representation such as perspective, which had been the rule since the Renaissance. And their aim was to develop a new way of seeing which reflected the modern age. So actually, the concept of Cubism is much on deviating from what is the tradition when it comes to art. But during the Renaissance period, it's all about the old way of painting, the old way of having a sculpture or sculpting. So when you look at the Cubism art, you can see that it seems like para siyang abstract, but when you are going to look it closely, you can really see the figures in there. So that is a new way of doing art after the Renaissance period, and it was started or popularized by Pablo Picasso. So let's proceed on the next type, which is all about social realism. So that is social realism, and when we say social realism, that is the realistic depiction in art of contemporary life as a means of social or political comment. So actually this type of art is very popular nowadays, especially that most people are very engaged when it comes to politics and governance. And some people express themselves, their opinions or their suggestions towards the government through art. And when you're going to look at their art, you can really see, you can really identify the current scenarios or current situations that our country or our government is facing right now. So for example, we have here a painting of a man who is walking. And there is a logo of Coca-Cola there. So when you're going to look at the man, it seems like he is very old and somehow poor. And that depicts the life of a man or a citizen, especially here in our country. It depicts the life of a poor person. So parang he is very sad, maybe he is very concerned when it comes to where to get money or where to buy food, or we can also say that that man is jobless. Okay, so that is an example of social realism. Aside from that, we have another example here. As you can see, there are a lot of people who are rallying. So diba, it is very, we can see that one in televisions, especially in Metro Manila, that there's a lot of people who are rallying against the government because they want to point out some of the issues and you know, the graft and corruptions that the government is you know what, that they are trying to that they are showing us, even though they are not literally saying that they are corrupting. But you know, we can you know, identify that one through the different news that we can hear from any platforms or news platforms, such as in social media, television, radio, and even in newspapers. Okay, so that is social realism. Next type. Okay, so we still have another example here for social realism. So as you can see, there is a woman there and her lips are taped with there are thorns in her lips, and it seems like this girl is in pain. So if we're going to analyze what this painting is trying to tell us, it seems like you know, the girl is oppressed from giving her opinions or sharing her thoughts. So maybe she is not given the freedom of expression. Okay, so that is what the painting is trying to tell us. Another one, on the left side, we can see a painting there. We're sure that that is a mother, and the mother is carrying her child, and the mother is also I think she is also pregnant for another baby. So I guess that depicts you know, one of the major problems or issues here in our country when it comes to birth control. So you know what, we know that Philippines is one of the most populous country if we're going to base it on the land area. So one of the problem of our country is that the extreme increase of number, or what do you call that one? The number of births every day, it is continuously increasing. And you know, one of the things that I have noticed, especially when it comes to those countries who have this kind of problem, that all about the overpopulation, this is common to countries that are categorized under the third world countries, diba? Kadalasan sa mga countries na ang issue are overpopulation, we have Philippines, We have countries in the African continents. So those countries belongs to the third world countries, and we can really see here that poverty is one of the major factor why people are being so productive when it comes to birth. Kasi first issue here is that since people don't have a stable job, then that means they are not busy with their life. So that's why they got time when it comes to that act. Then that act would result to, pregnancy of a mother or a woman. So, addition na naman sa population. So that's one of the problems of our country right now. Next type is the found objects. So this found object is very interesting, and I guess anyone can do this one in their house. And when we say found objects, this originated from the French object trouvé, which is describing art created from undisguised but often modified objects or products that are not normally considered materials from which art is made, and often because they already have a non-art function. So for example, in the picture that you can see on this slide, we have here, I know you can say that the image is a chicken, but don't you know that the composition of this sculpture is made up of eggshells? So giform ang mga eggshells para makaform siya ng chicken. So this is a type of sculpture, but we categorize this one as additive sculpture because we have two types of sculpture kasi. We have the additive and the subtractive. When we say subtractive, that involves for example, yung sa mga woods. Example of that is carving. So when you carve, you are reducing the amount of the wood in that certain piece. But when we say additive sculpture, you add something. Just like in this example, you add eggs, you build up together so that you can create the image or the sculpture that you desire. For example, for this is chicken. So another example here is, yes, you can see here a wood, but there's no carving involved in here. So it's like a miniature forest, but it seems like the trees are dead already, and the totality of this art has had told us a beautiful scenery of the different shades of brown in the woods that are being used. Ayan siya. And this is very popular when it comes to ganing mag-decorate kasi yung mga balay. So kadalasan kasi when it comes to home decorate, decorating your house, is they usually use dried plants. Kasi I've watched a lot of vlogs when it comes to decorating houses. They don't use mga plastic na mga flowers or any plastic. They want it to be alive, or if hindi siya alive, ginagawa nila, ginapatuyo nila yung mga flowers and mga leaves. And once magtuyo siya, diba, usually the color of the leaves, it changes to brown. And that's the time they are going to decorate it sa kanilang mga bahay. And it really adds up to the ambience of the house, especially when you have a white color of the walls, and a combination of siguro mga brown siguro when it comes to the edges on the, what do you call that one, yung sa pintuan gani, yung parang jam niya o parang ganyan. So example, color niya is brown, and then your walls are white, or pwede po you have a black touches of black and gray. Yes, bagay siya, especially kapag yung mga ide-decorate mo is ang shade niya ay brown. So yung mga pinatuyo niyo ng mga leaves, mga flowers, or even twigs. Twigs are also applicable when it comes to decorating your house. Okay, so let's proceed. So still in the found objects, so they typically found objects which includes natural materials like sand. Yes, you can also use sand, stones, shells, then curiously shaped piece of wood, and a human skull. But I'm not sure about this human skull. Pero siguro yung mga skull ng mga animals, di ba merong nag-decorate niyan? For example, I'm not sure if that is a sheep, a skull of the sheep. Di ba usually gina-decorate nila yan with the horn of that animal. Gina-decorate din nila doon sa kanilang mga walls. And pwede din man-made items such as newspaper cuttings. Yes. We can also use photographs, pieces of glass, fragments of scrap metal, pieces of textile fabric. You can also use unmade bed. Then pwede din bicycle handlebars and so on. So anything that you can decorate, any materials na sa tingin mo babagay doon sa what do you call that one? Doon sa bahay mo, sa decoration ng bahay mo, but just make sure that everything will blend in together. Hindi naman pwedeng, ito bagay siguro, ilalagay mo na lang lahat, pero after that one, pagtingin mo, masyado siyang makalat. So, hindi din pwede. You need to analyze it well, you need to assess, but it is very important that you plan first before you decorate. Okay? So, next type is the large-scale art. So, when we say large-scale art, these are artists that have produced, or artworks that have produced works that play with scale. So when we say play with scale, from the name itself, large scale art, malalaki talaga. So example for this is Juan Luna's Spoliarium, displayed in the National Museum which is an example for a large scale art. So even though we can only see Spoliarium, which is the painting of Juan Luna in the internet, so tingin natin maliit lang siya. Pero sa totoo talaga, yung pinaint talaga ni Juan Luna, it is very huge. Siguro times 2 sa height ko, ganun siya kalaki. And the width is, mahaba din ang width niya. Okay? So that is an example of a large scale. Another example for a large scale is the painting of Carlos Botong Francisco, which is entitled Filipinos Struggles Through Time, which is also displayed in the National Museum. And that is an example for a large scale art. Okay. Next and last for this type is the digital application. So this is very common nowadays, especially that we are already in the 21st century. So when we say digital application, it comes with augmented reality technology and transforms Filipino digital artworks into immersive experiences. So when we say digital application, this is very broad, diba? So pwede siya when it comes to painting, when it comes to art installation. So pag sinabi nating painting, diba, usually when you have your tablet, you can already paint in your tablet, diba? So that is an example of a digital application. Another is art installation, diba? Ang art installation noon, we need mga woods, mga carpentry or mga sculptures na ilalagay natin in a certain place. Pwede siguro in a museum or in a park. Pero ngayon, it already evolved. We are already using technology. Diba, pag pupunta kayo sa mga parks or sa mga malls, meron doong parang fountain show. And tapos may mga light siya and it is you can appreciate it during nighttime. So that is an example of a digital application. Diba? Bakit siya digital? Because the water sprouts, it goes along with the music and as well as with the light. So there is a technology involved there. So that is an example of a digital application. So ayan. So that is an example of a digital art, a digital painting. Ayan siya. So most of the painters right now, they are also they also engage with digital painting already kasi although yung painting talaga na magamit ka ng mga paints or mga brushes and you're going to put it in a canvas, although that is still in today, pero you know what, ngayon kasi everything is digitalized. So kailangan you need to adapt for what is trend. You need to go with the trend para pasok ka pa rin sa trend, di ba? Okay, so this time, let us proceed with the different local materials used in creating art. So ito siya, this is applicable here in the Philippine context. And this is true to every regions here in the Philippines, okay? So let us begin with Abaca. I know you are familiar with this, with Abaca. So when we say Abaca, that belongs to a banana family, and its fiber has a natural luster with colors ranging from pure white to ivory and dark brown. And usually, ang supplier nito is nasa Eastern Visayas, and yes, and sila nag-distribute ng Abaca, or they are the Abaca suppliers here in the Philippines. Although this can be found in other regions, but they are the widest Abaca suppliers here in our country. So products example for this, we have the slippers, example, then mga ropes, mga twine, hammock. Do you know what's hammock? So pag sinabi nating hammock, that is duyan, okay? And then pwede din gumawa ng frame out of Abaca, pwede din display jar or jars. You can also create Chelsea chair out of Abaca. So for example, in the image that you can see in this slide, meron dyang sleeper that is made up of Abaca. Next is Bakba. Are you familiar with Bakba? Siguro most of you don't know what Bakba is when you just hear the word, but when you see the plant itself, I know you can recognize it. So example of a bakbak is the one that you can see on the slide right now. So bakbak is the outermost covering of leaf sheath of the Abaca stalk, and it is a flat, thick, durable sheath as twine or braided. And the strong brown fiber is used to make furniture. So kaya naman, ang example nito ng mga products are mat, we have the Coir bin, we have also boxes, bin, display jars, Cecilia dining table, and armchair. So diba, you can see in this example, meron dyan mga pots which are made up of bakbak, which is made of bakbak twine or twigs. Ayan siya. Then we also have bamboo, of course. I know all of you know what bamboo is. So when we say bamboo, that is a raw material used in creating many products. And it is used in construction, textile, musical instruments, weapons, and many more. And it is abundant in La Union, Pampanga, Capiz, Cebu, and Bukidnon. So siguro naman nakakita na kayo ng mga bamboo, di ba? Okay, so kung hindi pa, the one that you can see on the slide, that is a bamboo. An example for this are kubing. So kubing is a musical instrument. I think this is widely used in the Ifugao region, in the Cordillera Administrative Region, specifically in mountain provinces, in Benguet, in Baguio, as well as bungkaka. So when we say bungkaka, that is a percussion instrument of the Igorot tribes. Okay, so another example for that are tongatong, we have the angklung, pateteg, and gabang. So most of the products that I've mentioned are musical instruments. But aside from the musical instruments, we can create a lot of materials, or we can create a lot of products out of bamboo. Diba, once meron na feature doon sa TV, ang business niya is mga tumblers, pero ang mga tumblers are made up of bamboo. Ayan. So, because of that, hindi nagagamit ng plastic. And I think that is a very good campaign, right? Para we can reduce the pollution in our environment. Next example is buntal. So, what is buntal? So, when we say buntal, that is a cylindrical shaped fiber. And the supple ivory white strands are quite durable, pliable, and have good dyeing qualities. And most noted producers are the provinces of Bohol. We also have Pangasinan, and as well as Marinduque and Quezon. So what are the products that can be produced out of buntal? So we can create bags, as you can see in the slide right now. We can also produce shoes. Meron ding desk accessories. Pwede din siya yung parang pen holder. Ayan. Then we can also make picture frames out of buntal. Pwede din file trays, wallets, placemats, braid, lampshade, window blind. So ayan siya. So another example, as you can see on the slide, pwede din makagawa ng hat out of buntal. Okay. Next is Coir. So what is a coir? I know you know what coir is. Ang hirap. Coir. So when we say coir, that is the fibrous material surrounding the fruit of the coconut tree, which are abundant in Calabarzon, Northern Mindanao, and Davao region. So ano ba yung core? Nakakita na kayo nito. Yung parang, yung sa ano good, sa coconut, yung parang, anong tawag niya? Outer covering niya, yung parang bunot. So yun, that is the coir. So what are the products that you can make out of coir? So pwedeng indoor or outdoor fiber carpets. Ayan, example. Nandyan, makita niya sa picture. Pwede din wall covering. Pwede din doormat or trellises and geotextile. So pwede din gumawa ng product out of coir. You can produce yung mga pots. Pwede yan siya. Ayan. So that is coir. So another one, we have Neato. So when we say Neato, that is a plant belonging to the fern family, and that grows abundantly in the hinterlands of Mindanao. And yes, they are abundant in the hinterlands of Mindanao, especially in the southern Mindanao. So what are the products that you can produce out of Neato? So pwedeng bags. Ayan, makikita mo siya. Usually, ang Neato kasi ano to siya, very solidify yung kanyang texture, and then when you're going to make a product out of it, it is really assurable na matibay siya. Kaya, di ba, I know nakakita na kayo ng mga products na ganito. And yung mga products talaga matitibay siya, especially and they are very appealing to the eyes. I don't know, for me, this is very appealing. Tapos, lalagyan siya ng varnish. So, gagaling yung kulay niya. So, example for this are bags, bread tray, lampshade, and decorative jars. Ayan. So, that is Neato. Another, we also have Pandan. So, when we say Pandan, are you familiar with Pandan? So, when we say Pandan, that is a tropical plant, of course, here in the Philippines. And it is processed and transformed into spleens that are being used as raw material, which are abundant in Calatrava in the Visayas. So, ayun, nakakita na kayo ng mga ganito. Pwede siyang gawing banig, pwede ding basket, hats, picture frames, and bags. Ayan. So, aside from Pandan, we also have Rattan. I know you are very familiar with this. So, Rattan belongs to the palm family. So, if you haven't seen the Rattan plant, so the one that you can see on the right side of the slide, so that is a Rattan tree. So, para siyang para siyang niyog na maliit. So, just like what I've said, it belongs to the palm family. And there are different types of rattan palms, such as the high or low climbers. We have also the single-stemmed or clustered rattan species. So, madami siyang klase. An example for this, the products that you can create out of rattan is pwedeng baskets, picture frames, furniture and other novelty items, yung mga Zoya Lounge chair. Ganun makita din niya sa mga, usually sa meron din ito sa mga hotel, o kanagana sa mga bahay na very antique, kana siya. So you can see a Zoya Lounge chair. And you can also, if you don't know how does it look, so ayan, yung makikita niyo sa slide. So that is an example of a Zoya Lounge chair. So, pwede ding Valencia queen size bed. So, pwede din siya gawing bed and pwede din siyang rest divan. So, madami pang pwedeng gawin out of rattan. So, actually, rattan is this is very widely used when it comes to furnitures and other structures. Next one is Peacock. So what is Peacock? So Peacock belongs to sea grasses. So ito siya, sea grasses naman ito. Tapos it is a native reed plant used as a raw material for mat weaving. So what are the products that can be created out of Peacock? So pwedeng bags, decorative mats, hampers, newspaper racks, table mat, waste bin, tower candy holder, and wall decor. So, pwede din, di ba, makikita niyo dyan sa picture, pwedeng gumawa ng bag out of Peacock, pwede ding shoes. So, ayan siya. So, actually, these products are really good, actually. Kasi, di ba, in this age that we are really use a lot of plastics, di ba? And we all know that plastics are really harmful in our environment, and it really takes years bago siya ma-degrade, bago siya what do you call that one, ma-decompose, diba? It takes 100 years before ma-decompose isang plastics. So if we're just given a chance or an opportunity to use these products, then let's use it, because this is one way for us to help reduce the pollution in our environment, and at the same time, this is also one way to help our farmers, diba? So, ayan siya. So, this time, let us proceed with the different contemporary art techniques and performance practices. So, ito naman, this time, ito naman yung mga different techniques na gagawin ninyo, of course, within this week. So, hopefully, you can create it. But let's discuss some of its techniques first. So first in the list, I know you are very familiar with this. So that is collage, and that is made by adhering flat elements such as newspaper or magazine cutouts, printed text, illustrations, photographs, cloth, string, etc. to a flat surface to create a thick layer that is almost like a relief sculpture. So, I know you are familiar what is collage is. So, diba, you are going to have a cutouts of paper. So, you can have a plain paper, or you can cut out from magazines or newspaper. O di kaya, if you want to have a motif, for example, you want to create a collage that the motif is all about food. So, ang ika-cut out mo is all about mga food. So, for example, ang gusto mo i-focus kasi mga foods dito sa Davao. So, you're going to cut out siguro yung mga fruits dito. For example, durian, mangosteen, lanzones. And then, after you do the cutouts, you are going to paste it on the paper, but you will not just paste it. You have to create something out of those cutouts. So, for example, madami ka ng pictures, iba't ibang mga foods. Tapos, when you're going to paste it on the paper, gusto mo maka-form ng durian. So, isi-shape mo siyang durian yung mga na-cutouts mo. And aside from that, hindi lang mga cutouts from magazines and newspapers, pwede din mga pictures. Or mag-print ka ng mga pictures, tapos yun yung mga ipagtagpi-tagpi mo. So, that is also an example of a collage. And collage is not only limited to paper. You can also use other materials such as cloth, mga strings, other materials as long as you're going to, ipagtagpi-tagpi mo siya. So that is an example of a collage. Next technique that we're going to introduce is the Decalcomania. Okay, ayan, Decalcomania. So what is Decalcomania? When we say decalcomania, that is the process of applying gouache to paper or glass, then transferring a reversal of that image on the canvas or other flat materials. So, are you familiar what gouache is? So, pag sinabing gouache, it has something to do with watercolor. Paano ba gagawa ng decalcomania? First, you need to have a plastic. Siguro pwedeng gumamit dito ng plastic cover or yung parang laminating sheet. So, kukuha ka nun. Then, after that one, kailangan mo ng pangkulay. Kailangan liquid yung pangkulay mo. So, for example, you can use what you call that, poster art or poster color. Pwede ding latex paint or pwede ding watercolor. Basta liquid form yung pangkulay mo. And then, ilalagay mo siya doon sa plastic. Tapos, doon ka ikaw na bahala anong design yung igagawa. Paano mo i-design yung mga color doon sa plastic. Then, after that one, after you put all the colors in the plastic, you are going to transfer it or ilapat mo dito sa papel or to any medium that you want to use. So most preferably paper talaga. So pwedeng cardboard, pwedeng illustration board, or any paper. Tapos paglagay mo doon, you wait for siguro mga 1 hour to 2 hours. Kapag natuyo na, you're going to remove the plastic. Then all the colors will now be transferred on the paper. So, usually, ang create dito sa Decalcomania, if you are not really pro in doing this, ang magawa mo talaga for sure is yung mga abstract. Pero kapag you are very pro to this, you know how to manipulate the application of color in the plastic. So, you can create siguro, for example, yung makikita niyo dyan sa slide. So, ayan, di ba? Meron siyang mga formation and it is very symmetrical. Ayan. So, this time, I will be showing you a video. She is also a senior high school student and she will be doing a Decalcomania. Ang gamit niya dito is, di ba merong Elmer's glue na merong color? So, yun yung ginamit niya. So, let's all watch this.
Hi guys! Welcome to my channel. I am Minimalism from 12 Joshua. For today's video, I'm gonna do a Decalcomania art. But first, what is Decalcomania art? A Decalcomania art is pressing paint between two papers and transferring it from prepared glass or any hard materials. Before we start, I'm gonna show you all the materials that we needed in making Decalcomania art. First is colored glues. I am not requiring you to buy already colored glues because they are too expensive. But I have a suggestion for you to make this art but not in an expensive way. First, buy white glue or clear glue and buy jogos or food coloring to put color on it. So, next material is plastic cover. I already cut it in the same size of the next material, which is the Oslo paper, because I think it is more absorbent than the normal bond paper. So, let's start. First, get your Oslo paper, then get your plastic cover, and then the colored glues. Let's start making. Now I'm done. It's time for me to press it on my Oslo paper. Now I am done. We will wait for a minute or an hour for this to dry. And then I'm gonna update you later, guys. Bye! Hi guys, it is the next day and it's time for me to update you guys on what happened on the Decalcomania art. It is completely dry and now it's time for me to remove the plastic cover. Done. And now this is the reveal of my work. Fun fact guys, if you use your imagination, you can see some images on your work. On my work, I see a bear. This is his ears, arms, and feet, and a tail. So, this is how you do a Decalcomania art. Thank you guys for watching.
Ayan, so ganyan lang kadali magawa ng Decalcomania. All you need to do is a plastic cover, then a bond paper or an Oslo paper or any paper that you have. Tapos pangkulay, pwede glue, tapos lagyan mo ng jubos, or if you have paint there sa inyong bahay so you can use it. So ayan. So this time, let us proceed with the third technique, which is the Deco Page. So what is a Deco Page? So this is done by adhering cutouts of paper and then coating these with one or more coats or transparent coating of varnish. So this is also very easy to use, pero kailangan mo lang talaga ng varnish. Pero mamaya turuan ko kayo kung wala kayong varnish. So first thing that you're going to do is to cut shapes or kanang mga pictures ba kaya, pwede mga flowers or anything that you want to cut. And then, you're going to paste it on a paper. Pwede ding hindi paper, you can paste it on a kanang sa baso ba kaya o di kaya sa mga vase. So kayo bahala kung saan nyo gusto siya ilagay. After pasting it, then that's the time you are going to apply the coating, which is wherein gagamit kayo ng varnish o di kaya anything na pang-coat na transparent. So bakit kailangan siya kailangan i-coat? So that the paper would not be hindi siya masyadong klaro na cut out siya. It seems like it is printed on the material itself. Parang ganun. And then kung wala kang varnish or any coating na transparent, you can actually use a glue. Lagyan mo lang ng water yung glue, and then you are going to i-paint mo siya doon sa paper wherein naka-paste doon yung mga pictures, mga cut-out pictures mo. Then, after you wait siguro mga 1 to 2 hours, then, you already have a Deco Page. So, ganyan lang ka-easy. Okay? So, I will just be discussing to you 3 techniques, and I have already discussed it. Collage, the Decalcomania, and the Deco Page. This time, let us proceed now to the activities that you are going to do for this week, and you are going to submit it on Monday, which is February 1, 2021. So first activity, this is an individual work, and this activity is entitled Let's Recycle. So let's read the instruction. Using used newspaper or magazine cutouts, cloth, strings, or whatever material that are available in your house, produce a collage or a Decalcomania or a Deco Page. So it's up to you kung ano ang gagawin nyo. It's either a collage, a Decalcomania, or a Deco Page. Next, you are going to choose only one among these 3 techniques, of course, and you will be graded according to this rubric. So, creativity, that is equivalent to 10 points. Design is equivalent to 10 points also. And we also have time and effort, 10 points. Then craftsmanship, 20 points. With a total of 50 points. So this activity is worth 50 points, and this will be allocated for your performance task. So saan siya ilalagay? You are going to place this one in a bond paper. Pero kung ayaw niyo ng bond paper, you can use any. You can use Oslo, you can use vellum paper, or you can also use a cardboard or an illustration board, as long as you can produce at least one art using one of the 3 techniques. It's either collage, Decalcomania, or Deco Page. Sir, would there be a parang theme? The theme will be, I will just give it to you. It's up to you. Kayo na mag-decide kung ano yung gagawin niyo. Okay? So all you need to do is to create a collage or a Decalcomania or a Deco Page. So that is for activity 1. Next activity, this is entitled Let's Appreciate. So let's read the directions. First, observe your own community. Then identify the available local materials and cite the products made out of these materials. So as you can see on your activity sheets, there are 2 columns there. The first column is all about the materials available in my country or in our country. Then you're going to list it down there. Kailangan at least 5. Pwedeng sumobra ng 5 pero bawal ang less than 5. Then, on the left side of the table, you are going to list down there the products that can be made or that can be created out of the materials that you have listed on the right side. So, for example, ilagay mo sa number 1, let's say, for example lang, rattan. So, what are the products that can be produced out of rattan? So, pwede mo ilalagay dyan ng mga chair or whatever. So, it's up to you. So, siguro, if you have an internet, you can search. Pero kung wala, you can ask from your parents or di kaya sa inyong mga friends, you chat them, or sa inyong mga neighbors, you can ask them. Okay, easy as that. So, kailangan 5, or more than. So, for the last activity, for this week, you are going to answer the summative test that is found on the last page of your activity sheet. So that is 15 items. So that is multiple choice. So all you need to do is to write the letter of the correct answer in your yellow paper. Okay? So if you have question, just send a private message in Messenger, or you can also direct your message through text message using my mobile number. Or you can also post your concern in our group, Facebook group. Ayan. So I think that would be all. Thank you so much for joining our class today. So answer your modules and submit your answer sheets on February 1, 2021. So thank you so much. Good morning.